Hello, beautiful beings. I hope everybody is doing well today, this evening, whenever it is that you're clicking on this video. Welcome to all if you're brand new, if this is your first time here, if you're a brand new subscriber, or if you've been here before. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, this session is set up as a Reiki healing session and as an activation session too. As I mentioned in my very last video previous to this one, I set out all of my crystals and all of my spell candles, or wish candles, I like to call them, under the full moon. And that full moon also had, that day also had a beautiful eclipse. So it was very, very powerful. So, and then on top of that, I've added some healing and abundance oil that I made previously the month before. So this is what this candle is, adorned with healing oil and both blessed under the full moon. Different full moons. This was blessed under our previous just gone full moon. So we're hoping we're going to set the stage here for beautiful healing. When I say stage, it's not a performance, but you know what I mean. Setting the stage here for some healing and activation extra for you today. Always trying to get you as much information in these general readings, as much healing, as much as you can get out of these readings. That's why we are here. So today I was trying to figure out what... I had a couple of different things. I had one specific reading that I had decided that, weeks ago that we were going to do. And then I did my meditation this morning and I was told, absolutely not, this is what we're doing. So today we are getting you, let's see, messages from the kingdom of light. Now, for those of you who also do this work, you always know when, the light is giving you the messages. Just as a disclaimer, I would personally never use the word kingdom. Kingdom of Avalon, it has romantic connotations, but for me, it's not a word that I would use. There's some kind of hierarchy in my mind frame for it. So when I asked them, the higher guides why to use that word, it was told to me, kingdom has a lot of power behind it, and they want you to know that there's a lot of power right now behind the light, and they're supporting you in that. So for everybody to understand and integrate the information in the title, to use the word kingdom. So therefore, I am using it just as they say. Messages from the kingdom of light. That is what we are channeling today. Now, mostly that is higher consciousness, source, God, however you attribute source, be that God, Christianity, beyond Christianity, or outside of Christianity, however you see it, it's all one and the same. Light could also be light beings that actually existed here within your ancestors, passed on, loved ones who are light filled, angels. As we get into these readings, if there's more specific messages from your light beings, and as they step forward, we'll get you more specific messages, even though these are general readings. But all the messages will be coming from the kingdom of light. And I thought what we would do, and I just used the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. Here, I used these as sort of placement markers for your piles, which will be timestamped down below, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And I promise you, as always, I just literally pulled from them instinctively. So these are the energies. And I also want you to look at the images of them too, not just the words, the images, the numbers, whichever one resonates with you. And underneath we have the Goddess Tarot. We have a couple tarot cards. These will be the foundation for your messages from the kingdom of light, and then we have other oracles coming in to give you some more clarifications and some more messages, and hopefully get in touch with who it is stepping forward. Sometimes it'll be source, like we said. We will find out as we get into these readings. So for pile 1, let's see, I hope that is, you can see that self-reflection, and we have the number 17 up here, and this beautiful sort of water energy, and the moon here. So that's pile 1. If any of that imagery or self-reflection, whatever that is, whatever within that card, that particular oracle card is calling to you. If that's your pile 1, then that's you. And then we have surrender, this beautiful card here, which is pile 2. We have 26 up here. We have the moon up here, and then the surrendering image here with the night sky. So if this, whichever part or aspect or all of it is speaking to you, that will be you for pile 2. And then last but not least, we have growth. And let's see if we can get this so you can see this, the number 5. And again, this beautiful sort of earth sky coming up, roots coming up, going right up into the sky, into the moon sky there, and the roots all around the earth. So if this is the image or the word growth or whatever it is calling to you, then that is your card for your messages from the Kingdom of Light. And as always, we'll take a couple of breaths really to ground into our energy. These messages resonate with you if you can really just give yourself a little space and time to clear your mind. Even if you have to pause the video for a while, go off and meditate, because they're working on several different healing aspects, because we have the Reiki and we have the activation and a lot of different things going on. So whatever you need to do to prepare to come into sync with these readings, it's yeah, like I said, it really hits home much quicker if you're able to do that. And it's really nice just to take 15-20 minutes if you can out of your day. I know we have so many responsibilities that if you can, that's wonderful, but it's also a privilege sometimes to have 15 and 20 minutes to yourself, right? So if you can manage it, that's wonderful. So let's go ahead and move these readings on. So I'm going to go ahead and put surrender away for a little while and growth away for a little while. So if you picked pile 1, which is the number 17, or if you put them together, the number 8 coming into 8 moving forward, waiting for there's new energy, there's new life coming into play, there's news on its way to move you forward. And if you chose self-reflection, this is definitely a water empathic beautiful card. If this is you, then this is your foundational reading from the messages of the Kingdom of Light. So I'm going to go ahead and let's put self-reflection right over there. That is your first card. Well, let's put it on camera so you can actually see it. And these are your tarot cards. 8 of Swords. You have the 8. We just said that. 8 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles. So this is the foundation for your reading. So the one energy that I'm picking up for you is definitely angels. Archangel Michael came in very, very strongly. We also have sort of the back essence of, and again, that's a strange way of putting it, but back essence of source, like a pillar of light, like a portal. You really are understanding at its core, and this is not small work, pile 1. You're really understanding, you've been activated into the notion of it, but you're really understanding that your thoughts are extremely powerful, and also you're deconstructing on a real primal level here how you got your thought processes, where they came from, and how powerful they've become. It's almost like a loop in your head. You've constantly had them. And what you've done, I'm not surprised, pile 1, that you've picked self-reflection because of your emotionality, because you're such a strong empath. And I see this a lot, especially in myself too. So I'm 100% behind you here. I totally get it. You know, the sensitivity is so strong. And being in the world where emotionality is sometimes considered a weakness one way or another, or in other times not necessarily encouraged. But for you, not dealing with, well, not, I wouldn't say dealing, that's definitely the wrong way to put it. Not having the time or the space, or not necessarily, you're more in line with repressing emotions, coming into the repression of emotion and dumbing them down. And then what happened is they picked up speed over your lifetime and, excuse me, and then they became a little bit more powerful than they needed to be. So you have these core beliefs that are now coming up now. And they could be really intense, and they could be sort of on a loop. but they're not real. And some of them for you, these are always general readings, but I do give you the information as it's given to me. So if this resonates for some of you, then it does. But most of what these core beliefs are coming up are about either abandonment or abandonment and fear, but not being there, somebody not being supported, not being there for you, not being supported in your authentic voice, being afraid to show yourself completely. The aspect of you that is quirky and beautiful is often hidden and is coming out, and you're realizing that coming together on your own terms really means that, you know, breathing in and breathing out and really understanding these core focus ideologies that you've come up with have been there for a while. And again, they've sort of gathered some they've gathered some momentum, but none of them were true. It could have been like a seed or a thought initially, even when you were young, but then you didn't, you know, there was a repression of that thought process, especially with the fear. So when it comes up as a very fearful sort of sprouting of these thoughts. But now you're actually going back and, you know, and I want to be clear, you know, we repress certain things and certain emotions for a very specific reason. And there's never any judgment here on Unicorn Light Tarot anyway. But there's particularly no judgment. And I want to be clear about this, about how people and folks, how everybody decides to heal. We all are incremental healers. We all have to do it our own way. There is absolutely no wrong or right way to do anything. Anybody that tells you there's only one way to do it and that's it, absolutely incorrect. I don't like saying people are incorrect, but there's a million and one different ways to approach something. The best thing to do is to bring in all sorts of different ideologies and put it to your heart and see what your intuition says and what you resonate with. You may resonate with something at some point and then not again later on. That's perfectly fine. That's an essence of growing up. You've outgrown that. You've moved on to something else. But for you, you know, the way in which you healed was very specific. You had to dumb some stuff down. You had a lot of power. You didn't have a lot of time. Again, with the survival, there's a theme coming up, you know, relinquishing the survival mode, coming from survival to thriving, you know, surviving to thriving. And this is what you've always wanted to do. And this is part of your manifestation process. But you know that these core beliefs need to be broken down. Now, my last reading talked about core beliefs, but this is a little bit more of a specific reading, clearing those core beliefs specifically around abandonment and non-support. You're ultra independent. You've done things your own way. And that also means that sometimes you've not always let in that support, or you've let it into a certain point, but then when you felt a little iffy about it, you needed to get out, you needed to back off, you needed to regroup and do things yourself. Again, no judgment, that's what you needed to do. But these core beliefs that are coming up, and they come up sometimes as a fear, like sort of growing from the first chakra coming all up, you're realizing that, you know, yes, these were core beliefs, but they were based on something that was so old and you've lived with them for so long. And some, you know, there's a little bit of sadness there. Part of, you know, aspects of your emotionality have been integrated into this, and some of your life, you know, you may have backed off from certain situations and you know, mediated your behavior in a way that, you know, and your voice and your authenticity in ways that you didn't need to before, because of this fear and these core beliefs. But now, there's a good reason for that too, and we're getting to that. But the message here is that you're finally understanding that these are outside of you, and you know how to break them down now. You're not afraid about going in and facing them head on. There's a really very, very simple thing to do. You know, conscious breathing. As you breathe in, I'm breathing in. As you breathe out, I'm breathing out. Literally just saying that to yourself. So as you're breathing in, you're conscious that you're breathing in, and you can say it out loud or in your mind and out. If you do this for a full minute, your mind clears and you really understand where you begin and your thoughts end. But this is something for the Eight of Swords, no longer being overwhelmed. I want to make sure that this candle's okay and I don't burn down the house, right? You're understanding at a core level that these are old fears. Now, this is something that you already knew, but facing these on your own terms, integrating the knowledge and the wisdom, coming out on the other side of this, and more importantly, not being afraid of your own emotionality. Sometimes the overwhelming, when that fear comes up, you've had, your mind only has one thought. It's been trained in that, right? You're coming out of that. Now, when your mind comes up with that abandonment stuff, you'd be like, no, I wasn't. They did their best. I am no longer living from that essence of abandonment right now. I'm not taking on that fear. I am supported. And I can tell you, Archangel Michael right now, especially with your third eye and throat chakra, absolutely clearing that out right now, so your authentic voice can come out, and to be free to speak your truth at all times without moderating yourself in any way. Now, the Six of Pentacles is wonderful. This is a beautiful thing that's happened here too. For those of you who are like at the stage, and again, when we do these readings, even if they're resonating, you might be at different stages of this process. So we try to speak to every one of you who's resonating in a general reading at every stage of the process. So for those of you who have just come out on the other side of this process, but you're really like, oh man, have I wasted all this time? I can't believe this core belief was there, and I gave it so much, and I integrated into my life. This is what I want you to know, Pal One, and this is the message I'm specifically getting from you. And this is not just from Archangel Michael, who... Oops, and there it goes. I got excited about Archangel Michael helping. My apologies there. But this is not... Archangel Michael is definitely healing, and certainly with the throat and third eye chakra. But the message I'm getting from Source is you had to really make peace with fear and abandonment in your own way, on your own terms, incrementally. You had to do it bit by bit. And here's the reason, Pal One. You're here to demonstrate to others how to do this work. And you would not be able to do it with the authenticity and the truth that you have had you have not gone through this route painstakingly, bit by bit, and broken it down, and then finally be able to see it for what it is and face it on full on. There was a timing aspect to your healing. Everything was divinely healed and divinely timed, and for a specific purpose, because it brings you into your path and what it is that you're supposed to do. You're a guiding light for others, to show others how to do this work. Absolutely. So let me get you a little bit more here. So for those of you who are in the stage of, I can't believe I wasted my time, or this has taken so long, or I'm grateful that I'm here, but my goodness, when I'm looking back, the amount of time I gave to fear. No, absolutely not. This is why you take that energy and know that it had to take this long for you to learn, because when you learned, your process was so thorough, is the word that I'm getting, that you can teach people in 30 minutes now how to do this work, and it's going to be worth it. This is your specific path in this lifetime. You're going to teach people how to move into their authority and autonomy, and how to face fear on their own terms. It's a beautiful thing. So let's get you some more messages from Source. Archangel Michael again is here. Archangel Raphael is healing to all of that older stuff from the first chakra that's coming in, but you've been working on the first chakra. Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Absolutely. For those of you who are really excited, and you should be, about coming in on the other side of this, but you're still sort of, again, a little bit, they really want you to get this message, so bear with me. I don't usually hit this home so quickly and so much, but for those of you who have come out on the other side but are still beating themselves up about the time that you've quote unquote wasted, they don't want you to do this. If anything, they want you to take the time that you've taken, this incremental healing. Yes, it's been slow, but it's been thorough. They want you to take that understanding of healing, that time space, and apply that to the rest of your life, to slow down. Again, the breathing, the in, the out. In those moments of peace, you will find exactly the answers that you need. Now that you've realized that all of this slow healing has come into this beautiful dimension of seeing things for exactly what they are, being activated onto your path of helping others in a very specific way. How you do that could be, speaking on TED Talks, creatively, working one-on-one with people, working in a group. It could be tarot reading, setting up your own healing station, whatever you need to do on YouTube. It could be writing, it could be creative. If you are working in multimedia, it will show all of this. If you're working from the sense of ancestors and coming in from planes of existence, all of that group healing will be shown in your multimedia, whatever it is that you do. You can bring in, a whole different aspect to a new way of working with within the art genre. There's so many different ways that you can do this: filmmaking, photography. For some of you who are photographers out there, it would be amazing for you to be photographers. You will be able to use your beautiful insights and take a picture of somebody and have that picture reflect their true authenticity. Show that picture back to them and they will be changed by that picture. That's how much power you have now that you've come on the other side of that. Don't you dare beat yourself up, though, for how long it's taken. Your guides, source here, wants you to come in. You've got a lot of goddess energy too, a lot of divine feminine energy coming in, very high level goddesses coming in, Mother Gaia and even Lilith. You have this sort of strength of will. And again, they want to remind you not to use it against yourself. You're very, very powerful. You do things on your own way. And sometimes with the abandonment too, they want to acknowledge truth here, real talk, pile one. Sometimes there was an essence of abandonment. Certainly, they're not saying that you didn't get that from nowhere, but at the same time, sometimes you blocked yourself and shut people out also. And now that you're seeing things for what they truly are, and reusing and imagining your emotionality and not using it against you, allowing it in and facing everything head on, you could open up and connect in a brand new way. And again, this is no fault to anybody else's, to the way in which you've done things and the way in which you perceive things. We're just letting you know the information so you can integrate it and let it sit in your soul for your intuition to decide what to do and how to take the information. So this is beautiful for you. They want you again to remember to slow down the way in which you have slowed down before in order to heal. They want you to stay with that energy of slowing down. The essence of connection is definitely ramped up now, because you're seeing things clearer. Your vision is very clear. And your source of manifestation is very clear. They also want you to remember that there's no linear path. All you have to do is sink into the understanding of your path and your intuition and your soul's desire. What is meant for you will come to you. For those of you who used your will to pull things to you, and some of it was successful or successful initially and then burnt out, or you were burnt out realizing it's not quite what you wanted, just allowing for that free flowing now sort of down the river and allowing things to happen, is that sign of openness that you had before, whereas before there was an element of control because you needed to protect yourself. That's no longer there. All of these themes have come up definitely in my previous reading. So if you're interested, and you haven't yet, I would definitely check out the previous reading to this. I feel like this is the sort of second reading, slightly more in-depth reading in some ways than the previous reading, but that's definitely a good preliminary reading to get going on this. Let's get you a little bit more information about who is helping you and any extra. Just wanted to make sure. So these are the Keepers of the Light. I love this oracle deck here. So let's see what we have for this one. So we have the Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on your path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Absolutely. The message without a doubt is please slow down and enjoy where you are. The moment. You've spent a lot of your life actually living from your past or bringing in aspects of your past while you were trying to move so valiantly into your future. Right now, you have the gift of the present moment. Again, remember that breath. Ground into your energy. Everything that you need, all of what you desire is in that present moment. You can bring it right into you. So take the energy of the slowness of how it is that you've healed. Again, face those core fears coming up head on. You're well able to do them now. And as they come up, you can have that mantra, really see them as, you know, the core beliefs that come up. If they still come up and you're still, again, if you're still in the stage of them coming up and you dealing with them and you integrating with them, as they come up, you can thank them for being there and see them, you know, mother them as you would a mother, as you would them being your baby. I'm here for you now. I know you have a message for me. I'm not afraid of you. I know that you've protected me. Thank you for being here. How can I help you? How can I heal you? How can I integrate you? Speak to the fears as they come up. They will start to dissipate and not take you over as much as they did before. As you speak to them, they will be able to show you the shifts in which they've integrated into certain aspects of your life, whether they've affected you socially or in any way that they've done that. They have a message for you and they're ready. You're ready to face them head on, but with integrity, with a softness, with a mothering instinct. And from there, they will be able to give you so much incredible insight. So definitely slow down. And with that, you know, whatever it is that we want, if we click into the energy of whatever it is that we want and that frequency, keeping your frequency high and clicking into that frequency, of course, will put us right back on our path in a way, sort of an accelerated level. And this is where you are. So pulsing with the Earth's energy. And again, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael can help you do that too. They are also blessing you with all of this energy too and clearing you out. So remember to drink a lot of water and sit with the energy of this reading right afterwards. It's a beautiful understanding. I will say that the one thing that just came up for me too, there's a little bit of a remnants of kind of the old ways, what I consider the old ways, the old structure of ways. There's nothing wrong with Christianity. There's nothing wrong with any of it. They're all beautiful religions. But sometimes essences of religions tell you to do things one way, and if you don't, then you're evil, you're not enough, you're this, that, and the other. You have to comply with what they say. Now, if you were brought up in, and again, this is a message for some of you because it's a general reading, if you were brought up in a situation, be it at church or wherever, or you just got this understanding from society, that's something that's being broken down in you now, and being crumbled and sort of eradicated. This idea of, you know, having gifts or spiritual gifts are evil, or, you know, not owning up to your authentic voice. There's only one way of doing things. You're a bad person if you do this, or you're a bad person if you are this. You know, the idea of conditional love in any way, shape, or form. If you grew up in any way, shape, or form, or got that as an idea when you were a little one, this is something that's also influenced you too at some core level. That's coming up with your fear. Again, this is just maybe for some of you. This is something that Archangel Michael is definitely working to move out of you. And again, I want to reiterate that everybody here is born precious. Everybody has unconditional love. Nobody, absolutely nobody, under any circumstances is ever judged by source. You don't have to comply by any set of rules in any kind of religion to be able to gain love. That's not the way it works. It's not a rhetoric here. It's just, it's a force. You are absolutely and completely precious the way that you are. You don't need to conform to get anybody else's love. So if there's any part of that conditioning that you came in, and it may not have been on purpose, and even if it was on purpose, people who maybe put you in and around this energy genuinely believed it, and again, that's totally fine. There's no judgment. But if there was judgment around any of this, and you got hold of that judgment and you understood that as if you went down this path, or you really had this authentic voice, or you really understood and talked your truth, you would be judged. The fear of judgment, then that is being pulled from you now. That's part of, for some of you, the core energy. You've been working on this, and you know this at a core level, that you are loved unconditionally, absolutely, under any circumstances. And no one should ever tell you, do not take on any energy of anybody that tells you that you're going to hell, or you're not, you're not doing things right, and you're not loved, or do not take, never take on that energy. You can just send that energy back, not in a bad way, but you can send it back, and then send love and light to that person who's sending that to you, because they're living in fear and have boxed themselves in because they're fearful. But if you've taken that upon yourself, that's being released from you right now. And Source is reminding you, again, unconditional love, beautiful, authentic voice. Use it often, use it always, without a filter. Let's get one more for you here. Faith. Harmony and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, and see the light in the world. Absolutely. The way in which you may, this core fear of being judged may have integrated and may have disconnected you a little bit from the world. Again, if you slow down, back into the breath, back into this connection of nature, and not be in a rush to use your beautiful new understanding of self, which is absolutely gorgeous and should be celebrated. But again, stay in that present moment. Don't go back into that living, in your present with your past intact and trying to get into the future. There's a new connection to the world here based on what you now know, based on your emptiness. Some might say the void, which I think is a very exciting place to be in. And don't fear that. Don't try and push into the next stage or the next step. Your next step is to stay in the present moment and see what life unveils for you. It's going to be far more brilliant than you ever thought possible. So a new connection here. Stay calm, your good in self and the others. It may have tainted your view of the world, this fear and this sort of filter that you had into the world, this new connection, this new understanding of self, as they say, as within, as without. The way in which you see the external world is a reflection of how you see yourself, or what your inner world actually is. You've just shifted your inner world. So your outer world is going to shift dramatically. It's going to be amazing. So really allow these energies to come in and guide you from your gut. Instead of making plans, this will be a good thing for you, Pile 1. Don't make any plans. Make decisions. See where they lead you. Sit with your intuition. Go with your truth. This is going to be a great exercise for you. So let's get you one. I got the star seeds here. Let's get you one more final message. A very exciting place for you to be in. It's a brand new way of seeing the world, brand new way of being in the world. No more pushing. And the way your relationship with fear, again, we can't eradicate fear. Some of us can, if you're enlightened and you get up there, that's amazing. But we don't need to eradicate fear. Just make friends with it. That's where you're at. It changes your entire life. It changes everything that you are and what you do and the work that you'll do in this world. So powerful. So what do we have for you? What last piece of advice do we have for you, Pile 1? Let's see. Abundance. When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. What did we say? Just take your time. Stay in that present moment. You've already been clicked onto the path of helping humanity. Your view of humanity is shifted. You may not have wanted to help them before, or only help certain aspects or certain handfuls of people within humanity, which was totally understandable from what you've been through and how the method in which you've healed. But now, this is a beautiful space to be in. So just, again, stay with your heart, stay with your intention, stay with your intuition, stay with those breathing exercises, continue to make friends with beautiful fear, and stay where you are. The work that you will be doing, if you're not already doing it, and pulling in more integration of this new essence that you now contain. There's nothing that you can't do. Remember, for you, effortless. Your life will be effortless. Do more. The opposite. That was the old you. Do less and expect more. This is the way that you're going to be in the world now. Everything will naturally open for you. And, and don't be afraid to look back and sort of tweak with what you thought you wanted. Things are going to shift and change now because of your energy is different. The way in which you present yourself to the world, the container, your human body, everything about you is different now. You hold a different kind of density, a different kind of light, less density, more light. Remember, unconditional love. Work with Archangel Michael and Raphael, and Source is working with you too. You also have goddess energy, a lot of divine feminine coming in. from not only from past lives, but very, very high ranking, we say, goddesses. There's so many of you and there's so many goddesses, you'll know which ones to work with. So I hope this is what I have for you, Pile 1. I hope this resonated. Do let me know in the comments if it did. I always love hearing from you. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe. It's wonderful when you subscribe if you feel as though this is the energy that you need around you for support and guidance and healing and activation. Love to help you. And don't forget to hick. I know Mercury went direct today, but I'm still getting back on track, so forgive me. And hit that bell button, and every time I upload a video twice a week, you will be notified immediately, so you don't have to wait for your guidance. I'm so excited for you, Pile 1. Please stay sane and safe, sending so much love and light to you from the bottom of my heart, continually, always, until we meet again. Pile 2, if you chose surrender, then these are your messages from the Kingdom of Light. Here, these are your foundational messages. I'm going to put surrender right there. And we have the Goddess Princess of Cups and the Six of Staves here. And that is reversed. So yeah, you're definitely in a process of always trying to get, these are general messages, always trying to get you as much information as possible. And as I always say with these readings, there's sort of a process that goes along with these readings, and try to get you as much information no matter where you are in that process. For those of you who know that surrender is the only way, and really the one thing that I'm getting for you, source is definitely coming in for your Kingdom of Light, but you have a lot of ancestors also coming in too, and you have a lot of loved ones too. There's a lot of loved ones, a lot of family that's passed over for you, that truly love and adore you and love what you have done too. You may have been sort of I don't want to say the black sheep of the family. I actually really don't like that saying. You were, but you were a little bit different from your family. Definitely this beautiful kind of, I'm getting the word cursed. You may have thought that you were cursed, never quite thought that you fit in. And I feel as though in some ways, and again, these are general readings, your family might have been quite confused by you. And some of them might have been quite in awe of you, but still didn't know how to relate to you necessarily. No matter how you were kind of treated, there was an aspect of sort of being on the outside and not really knowing how to get into the inside or be sort of integrated. Now, for those of you who have come into the surrendering process and are happy to surrender, really excited to surrender, actually, even if you've just come out of sort of the dark night of the soul, some of you who have activated and have just come through all sorts of things, man. My heart goes out to you. I mean, you've dragged out the you've dragged the bottom of the lake there. Everything came up, but you may have had to have done it. It sort of came up, and you were it may have felt like, this stuff's coming up, I've got to deal with it. If you're coming out on the other side of that, and you're ready to surrender, or you've had to surrender, you've been forced into surrender, but surrender is the way to go. The release is the way to go, but you're still doubting just a little bit. You know intrinsically that you're brilliant. You know intrinsically that you're here to be a light bearer, whether you are a starseed or a light worker, you're here to hold the light, whether you attribute to a label or you have that, you know that you're here for the good of mankind. But you know that you have powers in order to do that. But for those of you who are coming out on the other side and are still like wondering, there's still just a little bit of an echo. I like to call them echoes when you've already done the work, but there is a little bit of an echo of self-doubt. Oh my God, am I going to be called out? Oh my God, is this right? Am I, you're not doubting your process. You're not doubting your connection to source. You're not doubting that you're from the light. You're doubting a little bit, dumbing down the abilities. Do I really have this? Whereas before, this is a huge thing for you. Whereas before you had so much power. And again, this is a little bit of an overlap with Pile 1, but different messages, different energy. You may have had so much power, and you may have not had the time or the authority at the time to really go into and discredit a lot of the old crap that sort of kept you held down. So the way in which it manifested is that your power was so extreme and so powerful. You may have sort of like been a little bit of afraid of your power a little bit, and other people may have reacted to you in such a way that made you, definitely a little bit of afraid of it. And what happens there is that when you become powerful, when you realize that you have power, and then you start utilizing it, you may have wondered, is it really coming from the light? Is it really possible, positive? Now, you've come from that. You've worked with that. You've surrendered from that. You know that you would never hurt another soul in this lifetime. You do not doubt yourself anymore. There's no way that you doubt yourself anymore. You are 100% from the light. Absolutely. But there's still a little remnants, a little echo coming up of, do I really know what I'm talking about? They call it in the spiritual community, imposter syndrome. There's a little bit of an aspect of that. And because of that, you may not celebrate yourself enough. When people give you compliments, you're very gracious, you're very humble. Thank you. But like it excites you, and it excites you because, it sparks you. It reminds you that you're on a path and you're doing it. You're doing the work, and that's great. And you're there for humankind. But you don't really take it in. You don't celebrate it as much as you can. Oh my God, I got this. This is great. So what they're doing is Source is definitely blessing you now and just reminding you that it's okay to celebrate. You live beyond the ego anyway. That's not to say that sometimes you don't get defensive. Sometimes the ego doesn't come out. That's totally fine. But when you do, you're absolutely in a position to go, all right, ego's up. What am I doing now? All right, do I really need to... how do I need to rethink this? Do I need to issue an apology? Do I need to breathe before I react to this? My ego's doing this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to take this energy in. You have a process now. When the ego kicks in, you know how to deal with it. You're not working from the ego anymore. You're still, you're still able to be triggered every now and again, but you're working through that. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about your ego being stroked. They want you to celebrate how far you've come and how brilliant you are, and the process that you come through with the surrendering, with embracing your power at all levels. You are very powerful. You're no longer using it against yourself. You're using it for the good of man, and you always were going to. A lot of this being afraid of your power was instilled from past lives. You have so many past lives. You're an extreme old soul. Took you a while to go through them, to release each old past life and integrate them. This was not a small thing for you. You're an old soul. You're an ancient soul. And you've come in from different ways too. You've had human existences. You've had starseed existences. You've had you've had Atlantis existence. You've had all sorts of different existences here. So there's many different ways that you've come in, many different legacies that you hold. And there's a lot that you needed to do to integrate and to release from all of those old existences, to really formally and totally and completely hold all that wisdom that you hold, right? Part of it was timing too, and timelines. You were activated at certain times in your life. We all come down into Earth, which is a free will zone. We know this. And it's important for you to be activated at certain times. So you had an essence of not being of this world, but you were activated probably sometime in and around maybe like 16 or 17. You were activated to a certain point, but then you've been activated recently, within the last 3 to 6 months, and the last 3 years too. But I say the last 3 to 6 months have been really intense for the activations, and that's the way that you needed to activate. You hold a lot of energy, and a lot of power in your body. You couldn't have activated earlier. There was too much work to do and a lot of surrendering that needed to happen, but also your body needed to upgrade in order to be able to hold the kind of light that you hold, right? So that's what you've been doing. So let's get you some more information. Remember, please celebrate yourself. It's so important to celebrate yourself. It's actually part of your healing. The message that I'm getting is it's actually part of your healing. It's your homework. That's what I've just been told. It's your homework. They want you to do it. It's not even up for negotiation. You know, when you get a compliment, don't you dare go, "Oh, really?" You say thank you very much, and you take it in. You take it in and you celebrate. You absolutely celebrate all of that good energy of what you're doing. You know, the being and what you've been through, and how it is that you've integrated all of this wisdom and how you're going to send it back out into the world is not a small measure. Please, absolutely, you have to start celebrating you. If you don't start doing this on all levels, you will not be able to teach others how to do that either. You know, sorry to do this, but like, fuck humility. Don't worry about the crow. Just literally, a crow just went "Rah," when I said that. That's also one of your totem animals too coming in. A lot of magic. You don't have to worry again about getting big headed or working from the ego or letting it go to your head. That's not what this is about. But by celebrating all of who you are, because you deserve to. What happens is that this idea of the imposter syndrome, no matter how it is working in your life, even in a small way with little sort of doubts coming in here and there, they will be eradicated immediately when you start. When you absolutely start this process of celebrating yourself. And we're here at Unicorn Light Tarot to give you some really practical advice, grounded advice. Always listen to your intuition if you want to integrate it, but give you practical advice here to get to where you need to go. So yeah, so that's your homework. Do it. I'm sorry. Defenselessness, writing past wrongs, and uprooting. That's what you've been doing. Defenselessness. You've been going back and realizing that all the old ways that you had obviously don't work. You've been working through this idea and this understanding of dualism, right and wrong. He said, she said, this is my way. The process of being able to see things from somebody else's point of view without judgment is absolutely priceless. That's another thing that you're stepping into too. It's another one of your powers, to be able to wield balance and to see things in everybody else's point of view. Now, you may have been able to do this before, but you saw it too much from other people's point of view because you took on too much energy of other people. Now that you're grounding into your own energy, it's slightly different. You can see things from everybody else's point of view without getting involved, taking on anybody else's opinions and energy, and reclaim your sort of balance. So you're sort of seeing it from a higher frequency, whereas before you let in everybody else's opinion and let it affect you. And because you have this sort of empathetic wanting, you really, one of the things that you want in this world is that you really do believe that everybody has an opinion, and you want everybody to feel heard, and that's wonderful. But sometimes too many people have felt heard, and without the boundaries up, with everything that you were going through, their energy, forced themselves into your energy, and that's what you've been clearing out too. That's part of your surrender process. Big picture thinking, Palladian energy, visionary, inspired ideas. You're now free to really work in this realm in a very different way, to actually work from the higher frequencies. You're actually working from the sort of the starseed frequency rather than the human frequency. And I think that's I don't think, that's what I'm being told, that you've come from. A lot of where you've come from, Paul, too, is trying to figure out how to be human. It's been tough. The humans hurt each other. They do vile things. They really do. And they do them really without thinking. And that's really at the core of your soul. You've just not understood it. You've not. You could never do that. You don't understand it. You've still given people the benefit of the doubt, and you've still understood that everybody has an opinion. You do, and you try to hold space for that. But this new way of being, this new way of understanding and working with your truth, and this new surrendering process, surrendering to the essence of being human. And that's something you can have a spiritual modality, but we are still human, and really working with that balance of not just masculine and feminine, but the sort of limited perception from the human point of view, and then the unlimited from the spiritual point of view. And this is something that you'll be able to integrate really beautifully as you look back on your life and you see, all right, you can No, I don't, I'm trying to work through duality myself, he said, she said. But this is the one way that you can do this, and you've probably already started doing this if this is resonating with you, pal, too. As you go back and you look over certain aspects of your life, and certain processes, and certain situations that have really genuinely pained you, you can actually say to yourself, oh my goodness, you can look at it with some kind of balance and objectivity and start to see it from their point of view, and instead of this he said, she said, I feel hurt from this is what you did for me, you're really able to see this from a very high frequency of, I totally understand why you acted that way. I really do. I have a lot of compassion for why you felt like you needed to do that. Again, I want to be very clear. If somebody was unforgivably rude or bad to you or hurt you in any way, it doesn't condone what they did, but you can see it from a compassionate point of view and release it in a brand new way. There's a new surrendering. You can also say sorry to that situation. Not that you're saying that you're sorry, that you were wrong. You've always been the sort of person that's had to step up and be the better person. You've attracted a lot of people that have taken your energy. I saw something, I'm going to paraphrase it today. It was absolutely brilliant. I really wish I had it in front of me. But it said with friendships, some people take what you have, and then when they no longer need it, their loyalty is gone. And some people are genuinely loyal to you and they will be there no matter what, right? You've attracted a lot of people who were good people, who were doing their best, but there wasn't necessarily a loyalty there. They were loyal to what you could give them. And that's just where they were. That's the sort of person that you attracted without a shadow of a doubt. So you don't have to go back and, your sorry will be, I'm sorry for everything. You can just bless that situation and walk away from them, and walk away from that situation. You don't have to, bless what they did or condone what they did. It's just your way of surrendering in such a huge way, and that's going to give you so much beautiful peace as you move forward in this new way of being. Let's get you a little bit more information here. Who is around you? Oh, Lord Ganesh, yes, infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. So I would say with Lord Ganesh too, and Shiva would also be another one that's coming up for you with the beings of light and the kingdoms of light. This infinite abundance, again, seeing the expansiveness of life, seeing the expansiveness of everything from a human ideology and really integrating the human, the connectedness of being human, no longer being on the outside. Those who treated you maybe were either a little afraid of you or a little apprehensive, or maybe as a black sheep, maybe a little bit in awe, but sometimes that can be weird too because they don't know how to treat you. A lot of those people could be coming back, family members, a lot of those types of people could be coming back into your life and asking for advice and coming in because that sense of clarity and peace is coming to you now. Your obstacles are being removed and you're physically doing it just by exactly what it is that we said, the higher perspective of going back in your life and seeing things. Oh my goodness. And sometimes you're seeing this from a point of view of what you did too. Yeah, it doesn't excuse what they did. They behaved, not so great. But at the other side, oh, I did this also. Oh my goodness. And again, you can bless the I'm sorry for that situation. It's not condoning what they did or giving them I'm sorry. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about uprooting the old and letting it go for good. And not expecting anything from those situations anymore, literally gathering the wisdom from those situations, integrating them and moving them on for good. And again, ironically, some of those people from those situations might actually try to integrate back into your life, and we can't tell you what to do, wouldn't even dream of it. Some of them might have integrated different energies and have a different frequency. And if they do, you might want to open up your life to them maybe in a completely different way. You'll have a different soul contract now. If that doesn't exist, and you're not really ready to do that, then you can be gracious and not, you can have those boundaries. That's totally up to you. But yeah, coming from the spiritual aspect of who you are gives you this peace, and this sense of karma. Again, some of the people that were coming into your life before, they were karmic energies. You're able to sort of rewrite those and let that karma go. They came in for a reason. They're gone. they're gone. This is a new platform for you. This is a new foundation. This is a new way for you to be. Again, celebrate who you are and everything that you've been through. Some of those people in the past may have given you the idea that you weren't enough, and that you in some ways weren't good enough, that you didn't level up in some ways, and that's because you didn't do things the way that they did it. They were the ones judging you, or they'd come up with that idea of it, and because you were so open about people's opinions and taking them on, that may have settled with you. That's another reason for you to celebrate. It's so important for you to celebrate. Remember, pile 2, it's your homework. You gotta do it. You gotta celebrate. That's the way of bringing back your celebration back to you and say, I am worthy. I am really good at this. I can help people. I'm not going to back down from this. I'm not an imposter. I'm absolutely brilliant. And this is what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't mean that I don't have a lot to learn. It doesn't mean that I'm right. This is not about wrong or right, but it does mean that I've clicked into what I'm here to do. I've activated into it, and I'm really good at it. And you know why you're really good at it, pile 2, because you have an old soul. My goodness, you have spent many, 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 many lifetimes doing what you do. This is not your first rodeo. So you get to say you're good at something. You get to stand behind it. Damn, you get to say you're an expert at something. Yes, you do. Celebrate yourself. So all of that integrates, and you can pull yourself up, your intuition up to support yourself in the way that source is supporting you. So your kingdom of heaven, your kingdom of light is coming in from source. You've got those angels, Lord Ganesh and Shiva around you too, very much around you, bringing you that seamless timeline of pure abundance coming in as you celebrate yourself. So let's get you, this is the Starseeds cards here, that hopefully this will act as a little activation for you too. So let's get you one last message before we sign off here, pile 2. What have we got? Guidance. You are not alone. You are guided by masters and teachers of the highest realms. Well, yeah, we know that for you. You're guided by source. You're guided by Lord Ganesh for sure. And also specifically, going back specifically to what we said about you, you're guided by the essence of the spiritual and the light, and all encompasses, and all of that, what it means, it's all in you. You're guided by the universe. You are the universe, learning how to be human in that, teaching others how to do that, that integration, that balance, that beauty. This is where you're living from. This is your source from. You were living from a denser energy before of being human. You're now living as a higher being with the high frequency in a human body. It's a brand new way for you to be, and for you to believe. Celebrate yourself. Do that homework. Don't you dare doubt yourself. Don't you ever dare doubt yourself again. You are absolutely brilliant, and remember, many, many lifetimes for you to be as brilliant as you are. This is not your first rodeo, and you deserve to be celebrated by you and everybody else. Take that in. You are gorgeous. So if this resonated with you, pile 2, do definitely leave me a little message down below. I love hearing from you guys. And a thumbs up would be lovely. And do subscribe to this beautiful channel. I would love to have you there if you feel as though this is the right support that you need in your life. It's a really good thing to subscribe. It absolutely is. It just puts you very much in our little community, in our little family. And if you hit that bell icon, every time I upload, you will get your guidance absolutely immediately. Sending so much love and light to you, pile 2, without a shadow of a doubt. Please stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, my lovely pile 3s, if you chose growth and moving forward, then these are your messages from the Kingdom of Light. These are your foundational messages here. King of Cups reversed and the Four of Staves reversed. So there's a few different things coming in for your energy, and we're going to get you a lot more information here. Balancing the divine masculine is definitely coming in. Also balancing your emotionality, and really for some of you, these are always general messages. You know, the messages that I receive always go out to you guys. And we try to give you as much. This is a process, as you go through the process, where you are in the process, we try to give you as much information where you are in the process. But you're in the process of wondering if, that love, that family will come to you, or there's disruptions in your family. Trying to work with the emotionality, and also for those of you who are doubting, as you move into who you really are, who you actually seek to be, with the spirituality, as you move forward and your frequency increases, if you are worried with your growth that you will leave people behind, I want to be really clear. We want to be really clear. Sources coming in very clearly for all of these piles 1, 2, and 3, no exception for you. And the angels have been here too. You also have elemental and fairy energy around you too, which is really super cute. Your inner child. Also did an inner child reading. I think that was my last one. You should probably check that out if you haven't already, pile 3. That will be very good for you. But for those of you who are understanding or trying to understand that as your frequency grows, will you be leaving people behind, or if you're growing away from the people that you're with a significant other, whatever it is that you're going through, there's just a few things to clear up here. You don't leave anyone behind. As your frequency grows, their frequency will grow also. It's not a case of them or me. It's not a case of I have to choose. As I grow, I might have to leave people behind. No, not at all. If anything, more people will be included. Now, there will be certain things that you'll want to leave behind, certain remnants of thoughts, certain thought processes, activate codes of light as they grow and they integrate within your soul. The way in which you thought before, certain modalities of limited thinking you certainly want to be able to leave behind. Those will naturally sort of grow. I don't even see them as being left behind. You naturally grow into your organic form. So for those of you who are wondering, or a little bit worried about taking on this energy, or they're just a little bit nervous because there's been a lot of activation with you recently, maybe again just gone through in the last 3 weeks particularly, but in the last 3 months, like a lot of activation, a lot of stuff coming up for you, and you're kind of on the sort of the edge of the cliff looking over, and you're a little bit worried about what the next step is. Because so much has happened for you, but you really do want that growth, but you don't want to leave anyone or anything behind. It's really not about that, and you are being absolutely supported in everything that you do. There is a gain for you to move forward, and an impetus for you to move forward and to increase your abilities in whatever it is that you do. Please slow down. If there's fears coming up and there's messages coming up for you, just make sure that you take that on board, and you take as long as a time as you need. Healing is incremental. It does not need to be rushed. If there's stuff coming up for you and there's new latent abilities that's coming up, or there's abilities that you've always had and you're a little bit nervous about moving forward and integrating them, take your time and work from it. There's different kinds of fears that come in from all sorts of different aspects of past lives, different kind of levels. And it's for you to take your time and see where they come from. As we work with fear, as we face fear, there's a certain amount of energy and beauty that comes from that. There's so much gorgeousness that comes from that too. And there's a lot of strength that comes from that. So just slow down and just, stay in the present moment where you are. You do not have to rush forward in any way, shape, or form. If you're at the point where your power is coming up and you're a little bit nervous about that, don't you worry about any of that. This is absolutely something that you need to work with. Your emotionality for you, pile 3, will be your absolute guide, in this lifetime. Your empathic, beautiful emotionality. Now, sometimes that gets turned against you. And for those of you who have physical ailments from your emotionality, of being blocked in certain aspects of your body, there's a simple thing that we can do. I touched on this in pile 1. Real intentional breathing. As you breathe in, I'm breathing in as you breathe out. I'm breathing out. Very, very, very simple. A 3-year-old can do it. And your inner child will love this too, because it's simplifying everything. That's another thing that you do. Sometimes you can overcomplicate things. Your mind goes round and round and round. We all do that. Trust me, I've been there too. Simplify things. And honestly, just take the breath in and say it either out loud or in your mind. You can do it as you're walking around the house. You can take time out to meditate. As you do, you will clear your mind. And as you can do that, you will absolutely be able to connect with your emotionality on your own terms. You can also connect with various parts of your body. Start from your hair all the way down. How is my hair doing? Breathe in, breathe out. You're very visual. The way in which you get energy. I don't know if that's claircognizance, not one of them's hearing, one of them's whatever. Forgive me if I don't know those. So whatever it is, you're very visual. You actually get pictures in your head, or you get a sense of knowing, which could equate to pictures in your head because they're that specific, right? So as you go down, your third eye, your eyes. How are my eyes doing today? Really settle in and really find out, and take in those pictures, take in those beautiful pictures of what your body is showing you. It'll show you if there's any blockages. It will even show you what the emotionality behind those blockages are. Then you can go in with discernment and actually deal with them head on, again, with the breathing, and release them. You can work with Archangel Michael. Has been absolutely here all the way through from pile 1, pile 2, and is here with you today. And they are working with your, definitely your crown chakra, and just working through all your chakras with the healing, and clearing some stuff out for some physical stuff for you. Some of you have had some physical stuff going on, and it could be about your energy. You've not had a lot of energy, or you're suffering from not having enough energy, or you have energy and then you have to slow down because your energy isn't, it's not linear. It's not moving forward. It's just you have to rest a lot. Or if you have something to do that compresses your immune system, working with that too. There could be even pinched nerves, or anything that's working with blood flow or connection within your body. That's something that we can do, help you to heal. Archangel Ariel is coming in very strongly for you too. In a very specific way for the healing. Now, usually Archangel Raphael, who's also here for you too, for the healing. He's known for the healing. As far as I remember, I do work with the angels, work with goddesses more, to be honest with you. I believe Archangel Raphael is in charge of healing, although I do call on Archangel Raphael, but I feel like Archangel Michael is my guy with the sword for healing. But Archangel Raphael is there for you, but he's very much on the outskirts of this reading. It's Archangel Ariel that's coming in the beauty of who you are, coming with the essence of your emotionality, that's really coming in and helping you sort of flood in your senses in a great way. So that's your being, your kingdom of light. Let's see what else we have for you. The void, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So yeah, you're coming into this growth period of really accepting what that growth period is. And with that growth period is releasing the old. And that again can be on many levels, with the physical, with the emotional, with the spiritual. You're releasing on all levels. This is absolutely, as you raise your frequency here and you really check in with your body, you can also heal your cells. And having your body work with all of your systems, your blood flow all the way through. If there's any blockages in your body, or your immune system is being compromised in any way, even in a small way, they are there to help you build that up and move all of your energy and light through. And as a reminder, please do not worry. Please do not worry about leaving anybody behind or the next step. I know for you, things have been quite huge, as you're coming into this energy. So, if you do feel a little overwhelmed by the next step or what it is that you're supposed to do next, please just take a breath. Remember, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Let's get you a little bit more support and information here. This is the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. I absolutely love this deck for you, pile 3. We're really just sending you compassion and humility and love, unconditional love here in pile 3. Feel as though that's exactly what you need. A little bit of your inner child here just sitting there and crying and releasing. It might even be an ugly cry. I love those ugly cries because that's a beautiful sense of relief and release there. That might be pretty much where you are at, or if you've gone past that stage and you're moving into the next stage of of moving into healing aspects of self, and then moving into your new way of being, then we're here for you too. Here, sacred self, unleash your spirit. Let me see here, excuse me. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Absolutely. This is about you coming back to yourself, but just in this really gentle, beautiful way. Again, accepting your gifts from your own unique point of view, not from other people's point of view, what they told you it could have been. Again, if there's any fear around your gifts or your emotionality coming up, or who you think you'll be leaving behind, etc., etc., you don't need to worry about it. Your spirit just needs to be unleashed. There's a profound healing happening for you again on all levels. Really take time to cocoon if you can. I know sometimes that's just a privilege to be able to cocoon. Do whatever it is that you can to stay with this energy as you upgrade. There's a massive upgrading happening for you, Pile 3. There's not a reason to move forward right now or even think about the future. It's about unleashing your spirit again, recognizing your sacred self, really getting in line and being happy and comfortable with who you are, the choices you've made, the decisions that you made, the beautiful sense of accomplishment that you've done, the healing that you've done, the surrendering that you've done, the fear that you've faced, the crap that you've put up with too, everything that you've done in your life, and the gifts that you have. Really sit with your gifts. The way in which you use them are going to be really, really beautiful, and they're integrating in a brand new way as you heal, as you surrender. You're going to be using these gifts slightly differently than you thought you might be. So don't try and skip a step and see where you're going to be going with them. Stay with them. Again, stop, embrace the winter, but in the winter it's more about hibernating and cocooning. It's not about like, oh, you need to retract from life necessarily. It's about all encompassing who you are. And again, that sacred, beautiful self. If you really do feel with your intuition, again, with the kindness of who you have and who you are within, if you want to sit there with the breathing in, the breath in and the breath out, and really check in with where you are, again, with your heart, with your soul, with your eyes. Is there anything you need to show me? Your gifts are, you would be able to see and get a real understanding of people as you walk into a room. You really understand everybody's energy in that room. Sometimes if you're not grounded, that's very overwhelming for you. It could feel like a damn tsunami on a bad day. That's the way that you are, have been. But for you're really owning up to those gifts again on your own terms, incremental. Your gifts are mighty. Let them come in at a small, in the timeline that they're supposed to come in. Make peace with them as they come in, and not fear them. And it's not really a fear that you have, and I don't want to focus on the fear or the idea of fear. It's just a way of the power. You're sensing your own power, and you're sensing your own growth, and you don't want to compromise your life and other people and other things around you. But this understanding of frequency and how it moves, and how you will be actually integrating more people in and around you, and how you will be integrating other people's voice and love, and how you can help people just by being there. That's all part of the healing. That's all part of your gifts. That's all part of the integrating and the upgrading. So allow that to happen. But again, you're the sort of person that could really hone in on somebody's understanding of themselves as you walk into a room. You can really, really, really feel them. So do that for yourself and unleash any blockages. And again, really get that blood circular flowing, all of that energy flowing all the way through your body, that on a physical and spiritual level. That's what they want you to do, and they're helping you do that. Again, reach out to Archangel Michael here, and Archangel Ariel too, to help you. But source, and Jesus, forgiveness. You're on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. So just embrace that balance. Master Jesus gone right into your heart there too, opening your heart. And again, the forgiveness of path of love and light. I think this happened in pile 2 too. The assumptions people have had on you too, it's caused a little bit of an effect, and that's what they're clearing out. May have, actually gone into your body and clearing everything out. This is really about you focusing on getting all of, like a racetrack. I've just been shown a racetrack and driving around and getting going all around the racetrack, whereas before, because of some of the initial blockages, you're driving around a lot, extra driving, and that's just taking out a lot of energy for you. That's why you may not be having that much energy, or you have fits and starts of energy. But clearing all of that energy out and really honing in, and staying with your gifts and really letting them and embracing them and taking them in and integrating them and loving what they are and just letting them develop on their own stage of being. The forgiveness too is to forgive others. The way in which they have treated you have not always been of love and light. You have this gracious, beautiful spirit, and you took on a little bit of that energy. So yeah, Master Jesus is definitely within the heart, just opening up the heart a little bit. There's just a little bit of that protection mode there. And also, because you sense your power too, embracing the void, embracing the growth. Again, you're never given more than you can handle. I just want to remind you of that, pile 3. Everything that's coming to you with all of your gifts, you can absolutely handle. And again, please, we express from the bottom of our hearts, take it on your own path. Take in what you can, leave what you can. Allow, your path and your healing and your gifts to develop as slowly or as quickly as you want. You're absolutely in control of this. Nobody wants you to be uncomfortable as your beautiful gifts unleash themselves. So just, stay with your spirit, stay with your body on a physical level. Click into your body, get to know your emotions, get to know where your energy and emotionality has sat before. Sit with forgiveness, sit with love. Move forward completely on your own terms here. I'm going to get you one more love and guidance here from the Starseed's deck. The Starseed's Oracle. So what do we have for you here? Absolutely on your own terms. Sending you so much support. Remember that cocoon energy is around you. It's there for protection. Absolutely, without a doubt. Signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. Absolutely. And I want you nudging, gently nudging. Remember, that's all the universe is doing. Gently nudging. Nobody wants you to rush through this. They want you to be in the cocoon stage. They want you to just listen and stay open to the messages that are there, that are coming from spirits. You can integrate them. And as you integrate them and you see the physicality of blockages moving from your life, new causalities, new beautiful sort of ways of being and seeing in the world, new people coming into your life, you'll be able to see, attribute one X to, A to B, oh, I did this work yesterday. I really cleared this out. Now this happened today. You'll be able to see that causality. It will give you that strength, that notion of how this actually works. And that will help you sort of trust the process a little bit more. So just listen to, absolutely be open to the signs. You can ask for signs for the universe 24 hours. You can ask for a specific sign. Say to the universe, I'm asking for a specific sign to do with this. I want confirmation on this. Send me a picture of a butterfly or a butterfly coming into my life within 24 hours if it's meant to be. You can absolutely do this. It doesn't have to be a butterfly. It can be whatever you want. You can actually work with the universe. Choose your own signs. This is a way for you to work with the universe, integrate with the universe in such a new way. You can create this trust. And then from that trust, slowly but surely, you'll want to come out of that cocoon. You'll trust your gifts. You'll trust this unconditional love that's in and around you, and you'll be able to sort of work with this energy on your own terms. And that emotionality that you have as an empath, and these gifts that you beautifully have, that you understand people impeccably down from the past lives that they have, you'll be able to integrate that, and you'll be able to help mankind in a brand new, beautiful way. So stay true, pile 3. We love what you're doing. Everybody loves what you're doing, but please do it on your own terms. Please absolutely do it where you're comfortable on your own terms, and just look for support from Source, from Jesus, from Archangel Ariel and Archangel Michael. We are sending so much love and light to you. Absolutely. If this resonated with you, do let me know in the comments below. I truly love hearing from you guys. Always feel free to give me a thumbs up, and please feel free, if you feel like it's the right way to go, to subscribe to this channel. It really helps, and I really appreciate it if you feel as though this is the love and support that you need in your life. And don't forget to hit that bell icon, because the minute I upload, you will be notified and you can get your guidance immediately. So we are continuing to sending you so much love and light, pile 3. We're sending you so much love and light to your sweet little inner child, your cocoon phase, as you go through this, and as you understand your beautiful gifts and come into them again on your own terms, and always on your own terms. And until we meet again, stay safe and sane, my beautiful pile 3s. Bye bye.